How's it going, everybody? My name is Warner Fields with Fields of Profit. Today I'm here with my friend Nick, who is one of our students in the FBA roadmap. Started selling on Amazon about 8 months ago. He's already doing over $50,000 a month. So we're going to be breaking down his story, kind of sharing how he got into Amazon and all that. So if you just kind of want to quickly introduce yourself, Nick, let the people know how you got into Amazon, how you kind of ended up in this world. We'll kind of just roll from there.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm Nick. I just started selling on Amazon about 8 months ago, doing 50K last month in sales, and I'm on pace to do a little over 60K this month. I'm currently traveling the world. Right now I'm in Croatia. Been traveling for the past about 7 months. So pretty much the entire time that I've been doing Amazon, spending, 3, 4, 5 hours a day doing some work on my business and, spending the rest of the time just enjoying myself, enjoying the rest of the world.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's awesome to be able to, combine selling on Amazon, doing some travel. We'll get into that and all that. But yeah, maybe just to kind of, introduce us to kind of the concept, like what is your business model on Amazon? How did you land on that business model and what made that better than other alternatives? Obviously, there's so many ways to make money online right now.
Yeah, for sure. So right now I'm 100% OA and I've been 100% OA from the beginning. A lot of people starting books or doing RA. I jumped in right with online arbitrage because like I said, I'm traveling. So RA kind of out of the picture as far as the OA versus wholesale thing. So I picked up with OA, from watching you and Miles on YouTube and stuff and have kind of been running with that. I see a lot of people these days, talking about wholesale and trying to get into it and stuff. For the time being, I'm kind of just staying in my own lane. Trying to take it full advantage of the opportunity that I see in OA right now, which I think is, I think is very scalable business model. So I'm just going to run with that as far as I can. Maybe down the line, I could see myself getting into wholesale, maybe some private label, but that's where I sit right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just in case you guys are like brand new to Amazon, OA, online arbitrage, basically just buying something from like Walmart.com, selling it on Amazon, kind of a fancy name for that. So yeah, you're kind of getting into the swing of things. I think you said like last October or so, right? So you're getting your start.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I've been selling since October.
Sweet. Yeah. So it's October. You're just learning how to get into Amazon. Do you remember that first item you found and maybe how you found that item?
Yeah, so I actually found it was some shoes that I found and, I didn't even find them myself. I was, poking around in the Discord, saw somebody else's message about, I'm going to set up a mastermind. Does anybody want to join? I'm like, I'm a new seller. I'm trying to meet different people, trying to get some connections going. Hopped into that mastermind and he had a Discord call that he had with one other seller. And I hopped on. It was the three of us. And he's just like, hey, man, buy this lead. Like, look at this shoe. And, I pulled it up. The numbers penciled out. I looked HIPAA, the SellerAmp, all that stuff. And, that was the first product I bought. I didn't even find myself, but I guess that's the power of networking.
Right. Yeah. That's awesome. Like that's something that comes up when I do these conversations is like, oh, I met this guy and it kind of took off, right? Like for you, like literally the first thing you ever sold is just because you're putting yourself out there, going out and making those connections. That's super sick. So yeah, you finding that first shoe, maybe finding a couple other products. What was that method like early on? I know most people's like struggle with, especially with OA, is like sourcing products. What was that method where things started clicking? Like what were you doing to start finding products on your own?
Yeah, so for the first probably 3 or 4 months of me selling on Amazon, I was doing pretty much 100% just reverse sourcing, storefront stalking, other sellers, trying to see those products and find them profitably. But as my business has evolved and kind of the scope of Amazon has evolved, I've definitely been probably about 90% of my sourcing now comes just direct manual sourcing off of sites, looking at sales and all that stuff. A lot of replenishing and a lot of what I do is, so I'll have, one product that's profitable and 90% of the time there's another product closely related to that product in some way, same site, same sale, different variation, some kind of relationship with that item that almost always leads to, 1, 2, even 3 more profitable items to buy.
Yeah, for sure. Finding that one thing kind of sends you down a rabbit hole and then do it again with those other profitable items. That's awesome. I like what you're saying where, you're doing a whole bunch of reverse sourcing and then switching to manual sourcing. That's something that I think a lot of people are saying, but might be like overwhelming for a beginner. So what were the things you were doing while you were reverse sourcing? Like, were you like memorizing brands? Like what helped you go from reverse sourcing to manual sourcing, going straight to the source and getting leads that way?
So I think something that definitely will help newer sellers is to settle in on a niche and just focus down on, one specific area of products. Either it's, it's supplements, it's beauty, it's clothing, shoes. So for me, it was shoes and clothing that I drew to right away. And, I started seeing all the different brands, Nike, Adidas, all those kind of common brands that people are selling profitably. And it was finding all those sites that run those sales for those types of products. And by focusing in on, just those specific ones, it allowed me to not get, so overwhelmed, because there really are just thousands and thousands of products that you could buy and sell on Amazon. So by focusing down, I think it really helps to kind of give you a lane to, thrive in.
Yeah, I like that. It's also like if you're super passionate about something, like you come in, you already know a lot about makeup. Like you probably be really good at sourcing makeup. Like I like that, coming in, if you already knew a little bit about shoes, that kind of thing, like leveraging those skills, just leveraging, something that's interesting to you. And then you can worry about like looking at data later on. So yeah, another thing that I know you're really big on, or you're talking a little bit about, is being able to like travel, all that kind of stuff. How are you able to, run your business from, like anywhere in the world right now?
Yeah. So I've actually never once seen or touched or prepped a single product. I started right off the bat with a prep center. I see a lot of beginners asking, is it too early to go with the prep center? Questions like that. And I mean, I really jumped in from the very first product I sold was a prep center. So definitely outsourcing the prep has been huge. I don't have any VAs or anything at this time. I actually just had my wife start handling some admin tasks for me, handling some emails, some, order status things, that kind of stuff. That's allowed me to have, a significant amount of more time to be able to focus on just sourcing and buying, which is really what, moves the mark for me. So I spend probably about 3 to 4 hours a day working on Amazon. And then, the rest of the day I have to just enjoy myself, enjoy the world wherever I'm at.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what's been your like favorite travel destination so far?
That's a really tough question because, I really have been a lot of different countries. I would say that it kind of relates to a work environment. When I was, down in the Philippines, down in Bali, in a private villa with palm trees and beautiful pools and, the ocean right there. And I'm able to sit outside and, work on my computer, spend 4 hours, buying product. And then I get to just walk right out into the beach. There's the mindset that it puts you in, it makes me so motivated to work. So that's my office every day. It's just something to strive for.
That's awesome. Yeah, that just that high energy environment. There's also just a bunch of other like make money online expats over there. Were you meeting anybody, any guys like that over there?
Yeah, a lot of people from other countries doing, a very similar thing where they're just, they're just traveling, they're working on their computers. A lot of digital nomads down in the Philippines, down in Bali. So yeah, it's definitely kind of like a culture down there for sure.
That's awesome. Would you recommend doing what you're doing to like a lot of people, or is it like kind of not for the faint of heart?
It definitely has its disadvantages. I'm moving all the time. I mean, I'm taking probably at least a flight a week at this point, staying in Airbnbs and hotels, making sure the Wi-Fi is good enough so I can work, stuff like that. The planning is definitely a lot. My wife's been handling most of that, which is good for me, but it's definitely a drag to plan everything out. But I would say that the pros most definitely outweighs the cons. Being able to see all the different cultures in the world and, just how it's so different how a lot of other countries are compared to the US. So to be able to see that and experience that is definitely something that I think is worth the few downsides.
Yeah, that's awesome. Kind of leveling up, the business side on Amazon, leveling up the personal side, getting that experience. That's super fun. Probably not gonna be able to do it ever again, so you might as well, right? Yeah, so kind of getting back into the Amazon side of things. Something that I like to ask is, did you ever have a moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this product was amazing? Like, did you have like a light bulb moment where it's like, oh wow, Amazon could be serious, significant income?
Yeah. So for me, like I said, I started selling in October. So I'm right going into the Q4, period. And I knew like nothing about FBA before, I started with the roadmap course. So, I'm selling some products in October, some in November, and then December comes around and all of a sudden, all my inventory is just flying off the shelf. It's selling for $4, $5, $6 higher than it was just a week before. And, I'm struggling to stay in stock. And I was like, wow, there is some crazy potential in this. And it's, it's definitely something to pursue 100%.
That's awesome. Yeah. For me, it was Black Friday, like, 2 years ago, I guess at this point, where it's like, oh wow, like this is legit, like running up like 150K in a month. Like this stuff's serious. I can get fun really fast, as you know. Yeah. So is there anything that, for beginners getting into this space, like, is there any like misconceptions you think that a lot of new Amazon sellers have about selling on Amazon?
Yeah, I think a lot of people just kind of make it more, complicated than it is. Really for me, I mean, I'm not, I'm no different than anybody else. Like I didn't have a background in, e-commerce coming into this. I was just, I actually had a 4-year degree in college that had nothing to do with anything like this. And so if I can do it while traveling the world, anybody can do it from anywhere. It really is just putting in the work, putting in the consistent hours every single day, working on your business, and you're going to see the results. It's that simple.
Yeah, that's awesome. To me, the learning curve of selling on Amazon is like it's a brick wall. Like you run into it, most people aren't going to make it over it, but the people who do, like you start to see it's like, oh, there's so much potential. Like I see, I identify the opportunity. Like, yeah, once you get over that first little hump, like it genuinely is like not as hard as it seems, like at first glance. Yeah.
Like just to add on that real quick, when I was like a month, maybe 2 months in, I got to a point where I was getting, spending hours a day placing orders and sourcing and buying, and just to have all the orders get canceled. And I'm like, man, I just wasted 5 hours. And I was like, getting to the point where I'm like, man, is this even worth it? And then you just got to keep pushing, keep on showing up every day. And like you said, it's like that brick wall. Once you pass through, it's not smooth sailing. You still got to put in the work, but it definitely gets easier as you go.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. So going from, those early days where you're, starting to learn the basics, you're doing 5, 10K a month, that kind of thing. Was there anything that like did not work at scale, like simply took too much time? Is there anything that you had to drop to reach bigger scale to, kind of to scale your business?
I would say one thing is that in the past few months, at least, reverse sourcing has gotten, it seems like a lot of products are starting to tank off of reverse sourcing. So manual sourcing is more of like the way to go right now. So that's something that I was definitely doing earlier that now I'm kind of straying away to. And it's led to, me buying a lot better products, for higher ROI. They sell quicker. So that's definitely something that at first I was, definitely focused on, but now I'm kind of straying away from a little bit.
Yeah. That makes total sense, right? Like if you're reverse sourcing, by definition, you're kind of late to the party, right? Like somebody else is already making money off that item. So it's going to teach you a lot, but you want to go out and apply that to manual. So that's awesome. Yeah. That's kind of the stuff, like, going places where other people don't want to go, doing the work that people don't want to do. That's what it takes to really make money. Yeah. So another thing, you're talking about putting yourself out there in Discords. I know you've also been working on like a Twitter account. What benefit do you think there is for new sellers to go out there, talk about Amazon? Like, why should they go like share information about what they're doing?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, my very first product I found from somebody else just saying, here, man, here's a lead, go buy this product right here. And, there's a lot more people out there than you think. If you put yourself out there, you put positivity out there, you try to help other people, you're going to get it right back. So it's definitely something that has helped me scale my business. And it's definitely something that I think you should hold up there in high of importance as, anything else in your business, because the potential that it has is just, it's unlimited.
Yeah. So you're just like jumping in Discord groups, making that Twitter page. Is there anything else you've done to go out there and network?
Hopping on live calls with people, just talking and stuff like that. Just honestly, just conversing with other people about Amazon, asking them about, different issues that you have, stuff like that. But definitely just talking around the Discord, interacting with people on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. Definitely just keeping the nonstop education about Amazon and about selling, just keeping that going all the time.
Yeah. So, hitting those awesome milestones, 50K last month, going to do over 60K this month. What would you say is holding you back from, those 6-figure months right now? Is there like any questions I can answer for you, like hopping on the channel? I appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely. I would say what's holding me back right now is just a time factor. Traveling and stuff, I'm trying to really limit my screen time, and I'm trying to, go out and experience the world as much as I can while also focusing on that business. So I'm planning on coming home in about August or so. So I'm definitely going to be putting a lot more time into the business, and I plan on, doing some FBM, stuff like that to, really scale it to the next level. So right now I would say that time is probably definitely my biggest bottleneck.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that makes total sense. Like maybe you don't want to be dumping all your hours into growing this business. Like you're trying to enjoy travels and stuff. But yeah, so from what you're saying, I bet you would benefit from hiring a VA before too long. Like even if it's just an admin VA, like, hey, can you log these order numbers? And hey, can you deal with this IP complaint? Like all that little, stuff that just bogs down your workflow. I bet you'd benefit pretty massively from that. Having somebody say, hey, here's exactly how I want to source through this sale. Send them a quick video, like just have them look through that. Buy your time back, go on a hike, go down to the beach, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So just kind of wrapping us up here. If you are that guy or girl, you've got, $0 in sales, you're trying to make your first sales, what advice would you have for them? What should they go do today to take action on their business?
Definitely reach out to some other sellers. Just get yourself out there, get your name out there, and really just put in the work every day. every day, just show up, stay organized, stay focused. And if you do your job every day, you put in the work every single day, you're going to be successful in this business. It's not easy, but it's simple.
Yeah. I like that. Not easy, but it's simple. You're just buying something cheaper than you can sell it, right? The execution is hard, but concept's not too crazy. Yeah, so that's awesome. Really appreciate you hopping on the channel. I figure there's probably some people watching this video, especially if they're at your sales level, you want to reach out to Nick, kind of make those connections. Where can they find you?
Yeah, I'm poking around in the Discord. I'm ET Flips in the Discord, and I'm on Twitter also, FBA_PAR.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll get that link down below if you guys want to go drop them a follow, all that good stuff. Yeah, really appreciate you hopping on the channel, Nick. If you guys did get value out of this video and add some value back to my business, if you could hit the subscribe button, I would really appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything like that, drop those down below. Always happy to answer those. Really appreciate you guys watching this video, and I will see you next time.